All right, Mark Mansoor, welcome to the show. Today, we're going deep on something I know you've been thinking about a lot, starting a manufacturing business,
Absolutely.
but without needing a ton of cash up front. We're talking 2024, 2025, making smart moves. We've found so many cool, low-cost manufacturing ideas.
Yeah.
Everything from, those handmade crafts that are super popular to the eco-friendly stuff everyone's after, even food businesses, pet supplies. It's a whole world.
It really is.
And by the time we're done with this deep dive, you're going to have a real plan of action.
That's the goal. It's all about action, actually. That's what's so cool about manufacturing. It's not just making things.
Right.
It's this engine for growth, for innovation, even that feeling of self-reliance. You're taking, like, raw materials and turning them into something real,
Yeah.
something people can use and actually enjoy.
Okay, so we're talking about turning an idea into something tangible,
Yeah.
becoming a creator, right?
Exactly.
But doing it in a smart way. And our research keeps saying start small. Why is that so important, especially when we're talking about not having much money to start with?
Starting small is, well, it's crucial for a few big reasons.
Yeah.
First, you can test the waters without risking it all.
Like a trial run.
Exactly. You see if people actually want your product before you've got tons of inventory or fancy equipment.
Sure.
And second, starting small, you can adapt fast.
How so?
You can change your product, your marketing, even how you make the thing based on what's actually happening, real-world feedback.
So it's like a testing ground. You can learn as you go before going all in. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, our research dug up this 7-step blueprint for launching a manufacturing business when you don't have much cash.
Interesting.
First step is, and I love this phrase, start small, think big.
Okay.
What does that actually mean for someone like Mark, who's just starting out?
It means finding a niche product, something with a dedicated group of people who want it, but maybe can't find it easily in stores, right? Let's say handmade, eco-friendly bags. They're on trend, they appeal to that whole eco-conscious market, and you can even use recycled materials, which keeps costs down and is good for the planet.
That's a great point. But wouldn't the market for those bags be pretty crowded? How can someone like Mark make sure his product is the one people choose?
That's where differentiation comes in, right? You stand out by having unique designs, high-quality materials, or even letting people customize the product. Think like personalized embroidery or using fabric that's sourced locally, maybe even organic.
Okay.
You could even team up with local artists, do limited edition designs.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where there's a demand and you're offering something unique.
You got it.
Okay, so step one, figuring out that niche. But where do you even make this stuff when you're starting with limited capital? Our sources kept saying resourcefulness is key.
That's step 2. And it's huge. Forget about fancy workshops renting expensive space when you're just starting.
Right.
Look around you, Mark. Could you convert a spare room, a corner of the garage, maybe even the basement, into a little production space?
Yeah.
You're aiming for functionality, not a glamorous showroom, remember?
So it's working with what you've got, being creative with the space you have.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing this also applies to equipment. You're probably not running out to buy brand new top-of-the-line machines, right?
Exactly. Used equipment is a gold mine for entrepreneurs. Seriously. Online marketplaces, auctions, even those local classifieds.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
You can often find perfectly good tools for a fraction of the price of buying new.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about raw materials?
Right.
Wouldn't it be easier to just order everything online in bulk?
Ordering online is convenient, sure, but it often costs more, especially when you're only buying a little bit.
Okay.
Don't underestimate local suppliers. You can often get better prices, personalized service, even some good advice from people who know the materials.
So it's building that network in your community.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Step 3, our research calls it tech is your friend. It sounds pretty simple, but what does it mean for someone starting a manufacturing business?
It means using technology to make things run smoother, cheaper, and even to make your products better.
Give me an example.
3D printing. Imagine making prototypes, testing designs, even producing small batches right from your own space.
That's amazing. It's like a mini factory in your home.
Right.
But isn't 3D printing still pretty expensive to get into, I mean?
Not necessarily. The technology has come so far.
Oh, really?
You can find entry-level printers for under $500 these days, and you don't need to be, a tech genius to use them.
That's good to know.
There are tons of free tutorials online, even whole communities to help beginners with 3D printing.
Okay, more accessible than I thought. But besides printing, what other tech can someone like Mark use to their advantage?
Software. There are free design programs, project management tools, even accounting software,
Right.
all to help you stay organized, on track with expenses, manage your business like a pro. And then there's social media for marketing, reaching the right customers.
Uh-huh. Using tech to streamline the whole thing, from designing to producing to selling.
Exactly.
But even with all the tech in the world, our research says quality and innovation are what really set you apart. What do they mean by that?
It means understanding that people want unique, high-quality products. Especially if you're small,
Right.
your product has to stand out. Can you use sustainable materials? Design something that solves a problem. Offer customization that big companies can't.
Oh, those are great points. I'm starting to see how it all connects. You're not just competing on price, but on the value and the uniqueness you offer.
Exactly. But let's not forget another huge part of business these days, digital marketing.
Right.
Platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, that's your megaphone. You connect directly with your customers. No need for expensive ads.
So it's like having a direct line to the people you want to reach. But with so much stuff online, how can someone like Mark make sure his message gets heard?
Compelling content, Mark. Show people how you make your stuff, your story, your passion, the whole process. Video is king right now. People can see the care you put in.
Right.
It's about building relationships, not just making a sale.
Okay, so being authentic, transparent, I like that. But even with the best product in marketing, you need some money to get going, right? That's where step 6 comes in, pre-orders. Tell me more about that.
Kickstarter, Indiegogo, these platforms have changed the game for small businesses. You launch your product, get funding before you start mass production.
Oh, wow.
It's a fantastic way to see if your idea will actually work, see how much demand there is, and get the money you need.
So it's like a safety net. You're not taking a huge risk right away. Seems like there's a lot you can do to start a manufacturing business without going broke.
Absolutely.
But what about the human side of things? Our research kept emphasizing hard work and honesty.
You can have the best product in the world, but without effort and doing things the right way, you won't get far.
Right.
Trust with your customers, your partners, that's essential. Do what you say you'll do, be transparent, always try to exceed expectations.
It's about building a reputation, being reliable, having integrity. So crucial for any business, especially a new one.
For sure.
So we've got the why behind manufacturing, that practical 7-step blueprint, and the importance of tech and the human touch.
It's all connected.
I know what you're waiting for, specific product ideas. What are some of the hottest low-cost opportunities out there in 2024, 2025?
We're about to open up a whole buffet of ideas. Mark, we're about to unveil a buffet of ideas for you. But before we dive in, I want to emphasize something that kept coming up in our research. It's not just about checking off boxes, it's about the human element.
Okay.
That passion,
Yeah.
the problem solving, really wanting to make something valuable. Those are the things that make people successful.
That makes sense. You could have the most amazing product in the world,
Right,
but if you don't care about it,
right.
it's not going to connect with people.
Exactly. Enthusiasm, it's contagious. It really makes a difference. But enough with the abstract stuff. Let's get specific.
Got it.
We'll start with something that's always in demand. Handmade or artisanal goods. You know, those one-of-a-kind, handcrafted things people love?
Oh, for sure. I actually tried making candles once.
Oh, yeah.
It was a total disaster.
Oh, no.
Melted wax everywhere. The wicks were all messed up. It was bad. But it made me appreciate the skill that goes into those beautiful candles you see at craft fairs or online, you know.
Totally. Candles, soaps, jewelry, pottery, even custom embroidery, all of that falls under this category. And the best part is you can get started for like $500 to $1,000, just materials and some basic tools.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, you can find unique materials, eco-friendly stuff to make your products stand out. Then you can sell them locally, online, through Etsy, or even use social media to reach customers directly.
Speaking of reaching customers, that reminds me of that key step in the blueprint, digital marketing.
Right.
It's great to have a great product,
Yeah.
but you got to get in front of the right people.
Exactly. That's where Instagram, Facebook, all those platforms come in.
Yeah.
Show off your products with good photos and videos.
Okay. Tell your story, your brand story. You can even do targeted ads to reach people who are already interested in what you're making.
But isn't the online world super crowded these days? How does someone like Mark, just starting out, cut through all the noise and get noticed?
Influencer marketing, Mark, you can work with people who already have a big following online.
Oh, interesting.
They can show off your products to their audience, give testimonials, even run contests and giveaways.
So you're tapping into a community that's already there.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. Okay, so we've got handmade goods covered. What about something a little more edible? Our research mentioned food and beverage manufacturing as a low-cost option.
It's a huge market, especially with everyone wanting healthier, locally sourced food.
Right.
Imagine making delicious jams with fruit grown nearby,
Okay.
or organic juices, or even healthy frozen meals tailored to people's diets.
That does sound good. But what about food safety regulations, licensing, all that? Wouldn't that be a big obstacle, especially for someone starting out?
It's something to think about, definitely.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to stop you. Start small, focus on products that don't need a lot of processing or have fewer rules.
Okay.
You can also rent a commercial kitchen, which often comes with the licenses and permits you need.
So there are ways to make it work. What about startup costs? Is this going to be a lot more expensive than, say, those candles?
It's a bit higher, yeah, around $1,000 to $3,000, but that includes your ingredients, packaging, and licensing.
Okay.
And remember, you can always start small and scale up as you grow.
Right. So you're not renting a giant factory right away. You're building gradually.
Exactly. Strategy and resourcefulness, that's the key.
Mm.
Now, let's switch gears to something a bit less traditional, paper and cardboard recycling. It's where sustainability and innovation meet.
You know, I've been trying to be more eco-friendly lately, using reusable bags, composting, all that. This definitely sounds interesting.
It's more than just like notebooks.
Oh.
You can turn this stuff into paper bags, packaging for businesses, even art or lampshades. You're reducing waste, appealing to eco-conscious people and businesses. So you're tapping into that whole market of people who want sustainable options.
Exactly.
That's smart. What about startup costs? Do you need special equipment for this?
It's surprisingly cheap, around $800 to $1,500 for materials and some basic tools.
Wow.
You can often find those tools secondhand or even repurpose stuff you already have.
So it's like turning trash into treasure in
Yeah.
every sense of the word.
I like that.
Okay, now let's talk about something a little more mainstream. T-shirt printing and custom apparel. Everybody loves a good t-shirt.
It's true. And with online platforms and social media, it's so easy to reach people with your designs.
Okay.
Printed t-shirts, hoodies, caps, tote bags, the options are endless.
I'm picturing those viral t-shirts with funny sayings or pop culture stuff.
Exactly.
But isn't that market already saturated? How can someone new break in and make themselves stand out?
Unique, trendy designs, Mark. Think about what's popular, what people are wearing, what messages resonate with them. You can target specific niches like gamers, book lovers, pet owners, you name it.
Right.
You can also offer customization. Let people personalize their stuff with names, initials, even photos.
That's a good point. Customization is huge these days. People want stuff that reflects their own style.
Exactly.
What about startup costs for this? I'm guessing you need some equipment?
You'll need a heat press, design software, and blank apparel to start with.
Okay.
You can get going for around $1,500 to $2,500. And as you grow, you can invest in more advanced equipment like screen printers or embroidery machines.
So it's relatively affordable to start, and then you can scale up.
Right.
What about the eco-friendly angle? Is there a way to make custom apparel more sustainable?
Absolutely. You can use organic cotton, recycled fabrics,
Really?
eco-friendly inks and dyes, even partner with suppliers who are committed to ethical and sustainable practices.
You're not just making cool clothes, you're doing it in a way that's good for the planet.
Exactly. That leads us to another exciting area, eco-friendly products. This is where sustainability meets innovation.
Ooh, tell me more.
Yeah.
This is a topic I'm really into.
Think bamboo toothbrushes, reusable straws, biodegradable cutlery,
Okay.
reusable shopping bags, even eco-friendly cleaning products, anything that helps people use less plastic and harmful materials.
Those are all great ideas. But I'm thinking sourcing those sustainable materials could be tough and maybe more expensive.
It's a valid concern. Start by finding suppliers who specialize in sustainable stuff. Look for alternative materials that are local or easy to get. And remember, you can usually get better prices when you buy in bulk.
So it's about being resourceful, finding those creative solutions.
Exactly.
What about marketing these eco-friendly products? How do you reach the right people and get them excited about making these choices?
Highlight the environmental benefits. Talk about how long they last, how they can be reused, how they biodegrade.
Okay.
Tell your brand's story, your commitment to sustainability. You can even work with environmental groups or influencers.
So you're appealing to people who want products that align with their values.
Exactly.
What about startup costs for this type of manufacturing?
It depends on the materials and how complex the products are,
Okay.
but you can usually get going for around $1,000 to $3,000.
That's not bad, especially with how much this market is growing as people want to live more sustainably.
Exactly. Now let's not forget Our furry friends.
Oh, yes.
Pet accessories and supplies are a huge market, lots of potential for creative entrepreneurs.
I love anything pet related. I have 2 rescue dogs, and I'm always looking for fun, unique things for them. What kind of products are we talking about here?
Everything from homemade treats and toys
Okay,
to beds, collars, leashes, even grooming supplies. Anything for our furry companions.
that's a huge range.
Mm,
But I imagine the competition is tough.
it is. Focus on quality, safety, and innovation. Use natural, pet-friendly materials. Create designs that stand out from the mass-produced stuff.
Okay.
And use online communities and social media to reach pet owners. They're passionate about their pets.
That's so true. Pet owners are all over social media sharing photos and stories. It's like a built-in audience.
Exactly. And don't forget about local pet stores and groomers. You can partner with them to showcase your products and reach more people.
So it's all about building relationships, getting your products in front of the right eyes.
Exactly.
What about startup costs for this?
You can start for as little as $500 to $1,500 for materials and packaging.
Wow.
Remember, safe, pet-friendly materials are key. And promote your stuff online in pet forums, social media groups. You could even offer personalized things like engraved collars or custom toys.
Personalized pet products, I love that.
Okay.
Okay, let's switch gears again and talk about something a bit more high-tech. Small-scale 3D printing. It's like having a factory in your computer.
You got it. With 3D printing, you go from design to prototype to finished product so fast.
I can imagine.
You can make phone cases, prototypes for other businesses, custom decorations, jewelry, even replacement parts for stuff around the house. It's really only limited by your imagination.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So many possibilities. But isn't the 3D printing market getting pretty crowded? How can someone like Mark differentiate himself?
Finding your niche is key in any market. Right. But especially with 3D printing, maybe you specialize in a certain type of product,
Okay.
like super detailed phone cases or jewelry with unique engravings. Or maybe you focus on a specific group, like businesses or schools that need 3D printing.
I see.
Another option is to tap into the maker movement, those people who love 3D printing and making their own stuff.
The maker movement. Tell me more about that.
It's a global community of people who love DIY projects, technology, innovation. They get together in these spaces called maker spaces or hacker spaces to collaborate and share ideas. They have access to tools and equipment they might not be able to afford on their own.
So it's a collaborative workspace for creative people.
Exactly.
That's amazing. How can someone like Mark get involved in that and use it for his business?
Go to meetups, workshops, conferences. You'll meet other makers, learn new skills.
Okay.
You can offer your 3D printing services for prototyping or small-scale production. You can even share your designs and collaborate on projects with other people in the community.
So it's not just competition. It's about working together, helping each other out.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, what about the cost of getting into 3D printing? The equipment has got to be expensive, right?
It is a bit more expensive than some of the other things we've talked about. A 3D printer can cost anywhere from a few $100s to several thousand, depending on what it can do.
Right.
You'll also need materials like PLA filament, which is a type of plastic used in 3D printing.
Okay, so it's an investment, but it sounds like it could pay off down the road,
Definitely.
especially with the demand for custom-made things. Now, let's talk about something that's always needed no matter what's happening in the economy. Home cleaning and hygiene products. It's a market that's constantly changing, especially with everyone focusing on health and wellness.
People are realizing that a lot of conventional cleaning products are full of chemicals. They
Yeah.
want natural, eco-friendly options.
I've noticed that too. I've been making my own cleaning stuff with essential oils and vinegar, and it's so much gentler on my skin.
That's great.
What kind of products are we talking about here?
Homemade detergents, hand sanitizers, air fresheners, dish soap, even all-purpose cleaners, anything that helps people keep their homes clean and germ-free.
Okay, the essentials.
Hmm.
But aren't there safety concerns when you're making your own cleaning products?
Absolutely. Safety is the most important thing, especially when you're making things people use on their bodies and in their homes. Do your research on the ingredients, handle everything safely, and test your products before you sell them.
Makes sense. What about startup costs?
Pretty low, actually, around $1,000 to $2,000 for ingredients, packaging, and safety testing. You can sell online, through local stores, or even partner with cleaning services or businesses that want eco-friendly options.
So it's affordable to start, and there's room to grow.
Exactly.
I'm noticing a pattern here. All of these ideas are relatively cheap to get started with, and you can grow and change as your business takes off.
You got it. It's all about finding the right niche, being resourceful, and always innovating.
And don't forget the human side of things. The passion, hard work, honesty, wanting to make something valuable.
Absolutely. Those are the things that make people successful.
So, Mark, we've covered a lot today.
We have.
Practical tips for starting small, and even a glimpse into the future of manufacturing.
It's a lot to take in.
It really is. What stands out to you the most? What excites you?
Out of all these ideas and trends, what resonates with you, Mark? What are you most curious about?
Mark, we've uncovered so many cool, low-cost manufacturing ideas. From those handmade candles to 3D printing, even making your own eco-friendly cleaning products.
It's a lot to consider.
It is. But I'm thinking bigger picture now. What's on the horizon for 2024, 2025? What trends should Mark be aware of as he starts his manufacturing journey?
That's the million-dollar question for any entrepreneur these days.
Right.
The one thing you can't ignore is the rise of what they're calling smart manufacturing, or Industry 4.0.
Okay.
Sounds futuristic, but it's happening now. It's all about bringing digital tech into every part of how things are made.
So instead of those old assembly lines, we're talking AI robots, computers making decisions. Sounds like a sci-fi movie.
It might sound like it, but it's becoming real fast. Imagine AI figuring out the best production schedule.
Wow.
Sensors catching defects right away.
Okay.
Even customers designing their own products online and having them made on demand.
So efficiency, customization, I get it.
Mhm.
But how can someone like Mark, starting small, even use these advanced technologies? Wouldn't that cost a fortune?
That's the cool thing about Industry 4.0.
Yeah.
A lot of this tech is getting cheaper and easier to use, even for small businesses.
How so?
Cloud-based software, for example.
Right.
It can handle things like inventory, even predict when machines need maintenance, all without needing expensive equipment on site.
So it's like having a team of experts and powerful tools without the huge price tag. I see how Mark could use that to his advantage. What else should he be watching out for?
Another massive trend is the focus on sustainability and the circular economy. It's not enough to just make things anymore. People want products that are ethically sourced, good for the environment, built to last.
I've noticed that too, even when I'm just shopping for everyday things. People want to feel good about what they buy, knowing it's not hurting the planet or exploiting workers.
Absolutely.
How does this circular economy thing actually work, especially for a small manufacturer?
You got to think about the whole life of your product, from the materials you use to how it's disposed of.
Okay.
Can it be repaired, upgraded? Can the materials be recycled or repurposed? These are the questions manufacturers have to ask now.
So you're designing for sustainability right from the start.
Exactly.
Are there any specific materials or processes Mark should know about as he explores these different ideas?
One material that's getting a lot of buzz is bioplastic.
I've heard of that.
It's biodegradable, unlike regular plastic. Game changer for packaging, single-use items, and then there's 3D printing, which is naturally more resource efficient.
Oh, how so?
Less waste, you can make things on demand. So sustainability isn't just a trend, it's a whole new way of thinking about manufacturing.
For sure. What about automation? Should Mark be thinking about that?
Absolutely. Robotics and automation aren't just for giant factories anymore.
Okay.
Robots are getting smaller, cheaper, and easier to program. Even small businesses can use them.
So they can help out, even
Yeah.
if you don't have a huge operation.
Exactly. They can handle those repetitive tasks, be more precise, even work alongside human employees.
So it's not about robots taking over, but helping humans be more productive, focus on the more creative stuff.
Exactly.
It seems like the future of manufacturing is all about embracing new tech, learning, adapting.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Things are changing fast, and those who are willing to learn and adapt will be the ones who succeed.
Mark, we've covered a ton today, from those nitty-gritty tips for starting small to this glimpse into the future of manufacturing. What are your takeaways? What's got you excited?
Out of all these ideas, trends, what really stands out to you, Mark? What are you most eager to learn more about?
We're here to support you on your journey. Let us know your thoughts, suggest some topics for future deep dives,
Yeah, share your ideas.
and let's make 2025 the year you turn those manufacturing dreams into reality.